Welcome to the College Collective, where we exist to equip the next generation of ministry leaders. And congratulations, we survived 2020. Whether you happen to be the small few who had a great year or the rest of us who had an absolutely terrible year, it is officially 2021. And with that, a whole new year, New Year's Day. It's a wonderful opportunity for us just to hit the reset button and to start fresh. That's one of the reasons why I love New Year's Day so much, because humans just naturally need goals. We need natural timelines for us to be able to say, like, at the end of this month, at the end of this week, at the end of this year, we can go back, review things, and start brand new, which is just the whole point of why we have these things called New Year's resolutions. Maybe you've done them, maybe you think they're dumb, but regardless, people take advantage of the new year specifically to look back at all the things they don't like about their life from the previous year. Maybe that's poor eating habits, they spend too much money, or they watch too many cats on YouTube, or whatever it is, and intentionally look at the new year and say, I want to change that. I want to get better about this. And maybe you're coming into this new year, and as long as 2021 is better than 2020, that's a good enough New Year's resolution for yourself. But regardless, maybe you still want to have some parts of your life change for this year. You see, but what's equally as significant, though, about setting New Year's resolutions is how quick New Year's resolutions fail. One study shows that 80% of all New Year's resolutions will fail by the second week of February. Like, that's pretty discouraging, isn't it? So I don't know what the last year has held for you, but if you're like me, there's definitely things that we want to improve on. So today I want to talk about 5 key things that you can do to make the most out of your new year to achieve some of the goals that you're hoping to set for your life. So let's dive in, shall we? Number 1, you need to be simple. You need to be simple. It's really easy this time of year to take an inventory of all these things you didn't like about your life and come up with 10 things that you want to make better about your life this coming year. You know, you want to lose weight, you want to read more scripture, you want to get out of debt, you want to get a job, you want to read, you want to pray more, you want to, watch less videos on cats, and you want to watch more videos on hamsters. I don't know, you name it. But it's so easy to overwhelm ourselves with a list of things that we want to change. So it's recommended that whenever you're setting new goals or New Year's resolutions, to set 1 or 2 really simple goals, okay? Which would you rather have? Choosing 10 things about your life that you want to change and failing on all of them because you're spread too thin? Or putting all of your energy into one main thing, one main goal that you want to see happen this year and actually feel good about yourself for getting that goal accomplished, okay? So that's what I want you to do. As you're making that list of the things that you want to improve, identify the one thing that rises to the top, the one, maybe 2 things that you want to see improve this year. Number 2 is you need to be specific. Eating healthier, losing weight, reading more scripture, those are good goals, but they're not specific enough, okay? Eating healthier could mean only strictly eating fruits and vegetables, or it could mean eating 1 carrot a day, right? That's technically healthier, isn't it? You gotta be specific with what you want to happen with your New Year's resolutions and your goals. You have to get insanely detailed about what you want the achievement to look like. Otherwise, you won't know if you hit your goal, okay? So once you identify the area in your life that you want to improve, say maybe reading more scripture this year, break that down into a tangible, specific number. Is that you want to read 2 books of scripture a month? Or do you want to spend 15 minutes a day reading scripture? Or maybe you want to spend 5 days a week reading a devotional, okay? Or maybe if your goal is to lessen your screen time on your phone, break that down to a specific number of hours you'd like to see on your report at the end of every day and for your average at the end of the week. Or if you want to watch more funny videos about hamsters on YouTube, what's a specific number of videos that you want to watch on YouTube? So that way you know if you're actually attaining your goal. You gotta be specific. Author Michael Hyatt talks about how we should be setting smarter goals whenever accomplishing anything, right? So a SMARTER goal is an acronym that stands for these things. Your goal needs to be specific, get really detailed about exactly what it is. It needs to be measurable, Can you tell if you're actually getting this thing done? Can you see your progress on achieving this goal? Is it attainable? Is this something that you can actually attain? Probably you're not going to be able to get to the moon this year. That's not a very attainable goal, but you could lose 20 pounds. You could read more scripture this year, right? It's attainable. Number 4, you want it to be risky. You want it to be something that just seems a little bit scary and audacious. It's supposed to push you outside of your comfort zone. Number 5, it should be time-bound. This should have clear goals, clear calendar dates, and due dates for when you can accomplish this thing. It should be able to get into your daily calendar. Number 6, it should be exciting. You should be able to wake up every morning and just so motivated about what this goal is going to bring to your life. And number 7, it should be relevant. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense for you to want to save money this year while also buying $2,000, spending $2,000 on a MacBook Pro that you want. Like, those two don't really go well together. They need to be relevant with everything else that you're wanting to accomplish in your life. So be specific. Number 3 is to schedule it. And this is where a lot of New Year's resolutions fail. And this is where a lot of new goal setting fails in general, I think. Because the number one thing that they forget is it's a lot easier to make it just this lofty idea than an objective thing that changes how they live their daily lives. If you can't figure out a way to practice your New Year's resolution every single day, then you're never going to achieve it. So here's what you can do. Take an inventory of your daily schedule, okay? List out your week, Monday through Sunday, and include everything from the amount of sleep you want to get, time to spend with family, schoolwork, your job, study hours, extracurricular activities. Make sure you have a really good idea of what your daily schedule looks like on any given week. Then identify where you're going to devote specific amount of time towards your goal every single day, or identify what you need to stop doing to make room for you to accomplish this goal. This is really, really important. So if you want to read scripture 15 minutes a day, when is that going to take place? Is that going to happen first thing when you get up? Is that going to happen during your lunch break? Is that something that you need to set aside before you go to bed? Or say you're going to go to the gym 3 days a week. When will you go? What time? For how long? Do you need to get up earlier than you do? Do you need to stop watching TV on the couch in the evening and instead stream it on your phone while you run on the treadmill, right? Like, you have to identify how your goal is going to get into your daily schedule. And this leads to the 4th thing, in that you have to sacrifice something. You have to sacrifice something. Habit change is hard. It is so hard. And unfortunately, even though we might be able to recognize things about our life that we want to change, that we're not necessarily pleased with, our brains would much rather continue doing easy bad habits than work hard to bring in new, good, healthy habits. Because anytime you want to achieve a goal, it's something that you don't have. Every goal is work that you have to exert to get something new that's not currently in your life. So what that means is, in order to achieve this new goal, this new resolution, this new habit that you want, you have to sacrifice something else in order to get that very thing. So what do you need to sacrifice to achieve that goal? If it's reading more scripture, maybe that means not going to bed at the same time every night as you used to. Or maybe you have to give up watching YouTube for 30 minutes first thing in the morning to read scripture 30 minutes in the morning instead. If it's losing weight, you have to give up the fudge rounds and the Cheetos for carrots and apples. There's a sacrifice. If it's saving money, you have to give up eating out as much or impulsively buying the latest video game on your Xbox Live Marketplace. If it's watching more hamster videos on YouTube, you have to give up watching as many cat videos. With every goal we want to pursue, there has to be a sacrifice that we make in our daily life in order for us to achieve this new thing. And that's why these are a lot of hard work. Changing habits is a lot of hard work. But that doesn't mean that it can't be fun. That leads to number 5, make it a game. Make it a game. One of the most addicting elements of video games is completing a level and getting rewards for every time you complete a level, and you can literally see the progress bar work its way all the way up to complete 100%, you finish the game, you've beat Bowser, you've rescued Princess Peach, right? That is a very clear game, and you can tell how far you get along in the process. Well, when it comes to our goals and our New Year's resolutions, we need to think of creative ways for how we can make this a game. So, for example, if you want to read the New Testament in a whole year, you'd want to break that down to about 22 chapters per month, okay? Those are your monthly milestones towards achieving your goal. But then you can even break your monthly goal down into weekly goals, which would end up being about 5 to 6 chapters of scripture per week, okay? So every week, you're now working towards your monthly milestone. And then, you guessed it, you can break down your weekly goals into what you need to do each day to achieve that next level. So really, all you have to do is read 1 chapter a day for 5 or 6 days in a given week to hit your weekly goal, which then will help you reach your monthly goal. And then you do that for all 12 months, and then you've hit your annual goal. You see how that works? So it's really important that we can figure out how to turn our goal into bite-sized pieces. So it's not just this large, lofty thing that seems really distant from us, but it's something small that we can embed into our days. It's specific, it's simple, and we can actually work towards achieving it. But it gets even better, because you want to find fun, creative ways to show how you're making progress. So maybe that's where you draw the thermometer, right? And every 10 degrees on the thermometer represents how many chapters of scripture you've read or how many pounds you've lost or whatever. And every time you hit those goals, you fill it in, getting all the way up to the top of the thermometer. You've probably seen those things before. Another really fun way to gamify your goals is to get a jar and put a marble in every single time you hit your goal. So every chapter you read, every time you go to the gym, every time you watch that hamster video, you throw that marble in, and over time you start to see your progress build up in the jar. And it's really, really satisfying. Just as satisfying as hearing the sound once when you complete a level in Legend of Zelda, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. So you want to make it really, really, really fun in the process. So there you have it. 5 ways of how you can win at achieving your New Year's resolutions and your goals for this year. You can be specific. You got to be specific. You got to be simple. You got to be specific. Schedule it, sacrifice something, and make it a game. So here is to a fresh start in 2021 on achieving your greatest goals and making it at least slightly better than what 2020 was. So God bless you, and here is to you as the next generation of ministry leaders. We love you and sincerely hope for the best this year for you. God bless. See you in the next one.